Support for this show, Politics Done Right, comes from politicsdoneright.com, publishers of How to Make America Utopia, Take Away the Economy from Those Who Rigged It, As I See It, Class Warfare, The Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom, It's Worth It, How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors, and other books written by Egberto, Willies. Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto, Willies, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. And of course, good morning to the United States. Good morning to the entire world receiving our signals via the magic of El Internet, formerly known as ARPANET, created by whom, again, we the people of the United States and other places, now controlled by the billionaires, something that we must take care of. And you know what? After seeing what occurred on Sunday, after seeing that great performance by No Kings, man, the spirit is up. Got a lot to talk about. But before we get busy, of course, we go directly to El Estudio, the studio, with our resident geniuses, El Señor Howard Reynolds and Jacques Van Beba. Good morning, folks. How are you guys doing?
Jack, have you seen those guys?
Yeah, we're looking for the geniuses.
Yeah.
A couple of guys they pulled off the street in here.
Just a couple of guys avoiding work here. It is Monday morning at the radio, the 16th of June, 2025, and we have a fine show for you today. Yeah, I was out at the protest at 290 in 1960. I'd say maybe 3,000 people showed up. It was huge. Every corner was taken up at that particular spot. And of course, we had our fine Harris County patrolmen out there. They were just kind of walking around, greeting people, saying hi, how you doing? No problems out there. Of course, I don't expect that there would have been. So anyway, I was out there carrying my sign. My sweetheart was out there carrying her sign. It says, where was the National Guard on January the 6th? That is a question inquiring minds want to know, Jack.
Man, don't they?
Indeed. In
Where
fact,
are you?
I sent you the pictures there, Egberto, and the video clips that I recorded with my camera.
Well, so, you know what? Thank you for doing that. It's funny because I didn't know. When you sent that video, that library, I thought it was a collection of stuff from all over that you wanted to. I was just in a different waveform, so I got to go take a look at them. But I'm happy for that because now we have your pictures, we have Jack's pictures, we have those from Neil Aquino and Charlie Lindahl of all the different activities around Houston, and I'm getting some from folks around the country. This is going to be great when I put all of that together, man. That is so good. You guys are great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jack was out at the protest too, down in League City.
Yeah, good. Egberto, I went down to the one at League City, and it was. I arrived there a little bit early at the League City No Kings police the protest. The police presence was apparent, but not overwhelming. I think the League City police deserve kudos for their performance. They were very polite. And they were looking out after the people trying to cross the street and stuff, and they shut some of the crossings down without unless a policeman was there, you couldn't cross. Mm-hmm. So that was a good thing. And it was an overcast, real humid, stormy looking day. The crowd swelled to about 2,500 by noon. They were energized. They were creative in the way they dressed and their protest signs. They carried. The crowd represented a mix of young and old, and it was multi-ethnic, but mainly white professionals that were concerned about cuts to NASA's budget. This was more of a rally than a protest or a march. The opposition was small, about 25 to 30 Christians across the street. With cars driving on the street honking and stuff, I heard no negative slurs at all coming from the cars, and that was a good thing. So, but there was no one really to upset, so it was kind of lame. Somebody want to upset it with these things. So, But, it was sure good to see the good people of League City come out and make a showing about how much they disliked President Trump and his cabinet and his policies.
No kings. I was listening to Arnie on the way in, and they were talking about the protests. He said, it was more like a rally, like you say. Like a rally of, hey, there's our neighbors over there, reconnecting with people that you haven't seen in a while. You go, oh, what are you doing here? Oh, love your sign. It's really more like a festive atmosphere rather than, one that's ominous or dangerous.
It is amazing because it seems like there are similar stories all over. Here in Kingwood, we had the largest. I like the way you said, instead of protest, it's more like a rally, because most of the people that showed up, or rather most of the people that interacted with us, interacted on the positive side. And I was very surprised here in Kingwood. In fact, I have a video that I made that I'm going to play for the show this morning, but I was simply impressed by what occurred here in Kingwood. And you'll see my excitement in the video that I made. But without further ado, what you got for us, Brother Jack, as the word of the morning?
Well, I was just giving my little report on the rally protest, the No Kings protest. That was it.
That was it. Well, hey, look, that is great. Let me just tell you, I'm excited for how things worked out. Sadly, what occurred in Minnesota, and I guess we'll talk about that later on, but what occurred in Minnesota is, I hate to say wasn't unexpected, but it still hurts. But anyhow, anything else you have to say, Howard, before I play my starting video?
No, we're good.
All right, folks. Look, like I mentioned, well, let me just play the video because I think I explained everything in the video. So let's get started. I think I'm ready and queued up. Let's get busy. Kingwood, Texas had the most successful and peaceful protest that has ever occurred in this town by volume, by numbers, and by the types of policies these people were protesting about in the No Kings protest that we had. And I can't tell you first of all, how amazed I was of its success. And it was so successful that at the allotted time that we were supposed to close it down, people refused to leave. They were just having fun, expressing themselves, expressing their rights to democracy, expressing their free speech rights. Protesting against a president that's a convicted felon. That's not only that he's a convicted felon, but he continues his felonies as he governs. This was arranged by Cindy Hendrickson, leader of the indivisible Kingwood, and one has to commend the marvelous job that she, along with many of her other organizational leaders, put together in this framework. I taped the entire event. Unfortunately, I attempted to live streamed it, and with the goal of using the videos from the live stream, I erred in that I should have had two cameras, one for live streaming and one for the actual interviews and images that I took, because the quality of the video is not very good, but I was able to salvage enough substantive video for you to get a feeling of what it was like on the ground. So without further ado, let me go ahead and play that, and then we'll take it on the other side. All right, talk to me. You're on my Substack right now. You want to say a little something?
Sure. I'm now here because the rule of law matters.
Yes.
Institution. So right, left, doesn't matter. We should be standing up for those things.
Have you been active before? This is sort of your first rodeo.
Like this gentleman, I've been independent. I've voted for Republicans. I've voted for Democrats. And if we had a normal Republican,
you would vote again. Yeah.
Out here.
Right.
But we have somebody who's tearing apart our democracy, and we have to stand up as citizens. Again, whether you're right or left,
right.
It's important to be.
I think it's important what you just said. Whether you're right or left, we have the responsibility as United States citizens to actually engage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Hello, sir. Yeah, want to say a little something to me while you're out here?
Yeah. Well,
I'm a veteran. I fought in Vietnam. Fought those. We fought for democracy for everybody. And we're a nation of beings. And I wondered what happened to democracy in this century. This is not. My father stood and said, they could see it's quite disappointing because we're all citizens of this country. All supposed to be following surprised. And this, what is happening is not the answer to feeling countries.
Well, thank you, sir. First of all, thank you very much for your service. And you know, you hear a lot of that from folks. They don't really mean this stuff because they forget about your veterans benefits. They forget about all of that. Know that that's what we fight for, and we want to thank you for what you've done. Thank you, sir. Hello. Look at my brother. How you doing? Look at that sign. No kings. Aren't you a king? You are no king. Why are you here?
I thought when I heard you ask that question, if you have to ask, you wouldn't understand.
Well, I remember I'm just asking with a blank slate. I need to hear from you. It's not about me. It's about you.
Listen to the news. That's all you got to do.
There you go. There you go, brother. All right. All right.
I'm a 30-year veteran.
Yes.
I'm a veteran. I can't stand this idea of using the troops. Meaningful pay and benefits to the veterans and Medicare and Medicaid cuts, so security cuts. This is democracy, representative democracy. Right? We don't need it.
Thank you, my brother. That's a good one. Thank you. All right. Hello. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
Well, why are you here, my friend? Look, I know the answer, okay, but I still have to ask. Remember, I got to be objective. How you doing?
I'm doing fancy. The sign says it all.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. I've seen all kind of sign. I haven't seen such a very well put sign than that one. Okay. So tell me a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm a pope.
Okay.
I like playing around with words. And right now, really and truthfully, enough fucks.
Right.
We cannot have a constitution being violated. We the people, I mean, it means a lot. A lot of people die. There are a lot of people. My father fought World War II when he was 16 years old. That fight was for democracy. It's 16 years old. Okay. So it's really important to me that what we have is preserved. It's not perfect, but this is the wrong direction. This is absolutely the wrong direction.
Thank you very much, sir. You want to say a few words?
Oh, you don't want to start that.
Well, then just because you started that, what I want to hear from you.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
First of all, I don't know whether anybody else has heard. They got these documents now that say that Trump's asked for on January 6th, asked for 10,000 National Guard. Oh, let me think. Compulsive liar? We're going to believe that? No. Plus the fact he has overwrought everybody because he has overreached his comments about what he was going to win for. And he's taking people that is in here 50, 60 years who have no criminal record. And I'm going to stop because I'll just...
Well, I'm glad that you brought up from after. Remember that Vice President Vance is the one who had to call up the guards because he didn't do it. So any document that says otherwise, it's a fraud.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So tell me, why are you out here? Why are you...
Because I just got out here and I missed all the other protests. So I was working. I'm spending now. I have a chance to do this for my grandchildren and great-grandchildren.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Hello, this is John Cotter. This is the president of the one and only Humble Area Democrats. What's up, my man?
It's great to be in the crowd and so many people out here to defend democracy today.
You know, you remember we used to do together Occupy Kingwood.
Yes.
It's amazing. This is probably 10 times the crowd. This just shows you the condition that we're in relative to then.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's that much worse.
Yes. It's so heartwarming, I guess is the right word, that so many people here in Kingwood are coming out, waving their flags, they have their signs, and they're standing up for our rights.
We are the real Americans.
Yes, we are.
We are the ones that really stand in for the Constitution. Thank you very much, John. John Cotter, my brother. Take it easy.
Bill Richter.
Bill, you are Bill. How you doing, Bill? Talk to me, my friend.
Oh, we're glad to be here today. Support democracy. And we love your work, and we are amazed.
I am very amazed myself. And look, thank you for being here. This is what we need. Ma'am, talk to me.
Oh, man, I'm your greatest fan.
I appreciate you. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you. Why are you here?
I'm delighted to be here. And it's you use justice, you use law, we lose democracy. And I'm so glad that it's gotten up.
You know, we were concerned about being in Kingwood, whether we were going to have the crowd, because there was a lot of threats, etc. And it showed. I won't hold you back anymore, but please, thank you very much again for coming. Thank you much for coming. All right. Take care. Why are you here?
I'm here to protest. No kings.
Oh, I love it. Is that your wife?
Yes, it is.
You know why they say they are a better half?
They're quicker on your leg. Why are you here again?
Those are here.
Thank you.
Right.
All right. Why are you here?
I'm here to show our community that there's a lot of us here, and this is America. No more no kings allowed, and that's where Tecumseh is. So I'm here to show our neighbors that there's a lot of us here. We're getting a lot of positive reactions from the drivers that are passing by, and you can see we've got a good.
You participated with us when we did Occupy Kingwood. And what's interesting is, as I was telling, this crowd is more than 10 times what we were getting. Let me tell you different. We also have a lot of folks approach me to let me know they're not Democrats, they're Republicans and independents who actually want to see a change. When you hit that number, you know what it says. We're there. We're there. Thank you very much. Well, what you want to tell our Substack audience?
What's going on is wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to be treated the same. I'm sorry. If they're in this country and on this soil, they have rights, period.
Exactly.
You need due process. Everybody else, your budget is long. 70302. Great big budget bill needs to go because we're neutering the courts financially.
And I think we're finally getting that out of the bill. But yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, let me tell you what's interesting. Among your people here, you got some good Republicans that seek me out to tell me that they were Republicans. Does that tell you something?
Amen.
Does that tell you something?
A small, beautiful.
And look, the day turned out great. And we have several hundred people in Kingwood, Texas. In Kingwood, Texas.
Reagan wouldn't be allowed to be a Republican nowadays.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
It is. I'm protesting. Okay,
I'm
yes.
supporting democracy.
You are what?
I'm supporting democracy.
That's what I want to hear.
My dad was in Germany before the Great War. Before that closed the borders, he was visiting grandparents, and so he had to deal with that. They knocked on the door. Grandson is not with me. He's moving to learn that he got my grandfather down out. And so my dad came to this country reading and for praise and for openness, not to have another despot like Trump is. We visit with him.
There you go. I think you nailed it. And that's what we have to remember. That's what we have to, and that's why we need to teach history. Let's say, sir.
We are Strawbridge United Methodist Church. We're here because we believe in democracy. We tell that no matter your perspective or your life, welcome to Strawbridge.
Thank you. So you tell me what you need to say.
It's not just about one person. It's about the institution. I'm a gay man. Been my husband for 28 years. An adopted daughter who's biracial. All these are things they want to take away from us. So that's why I'm here.
Well, you know what? Thank you for being out here and fighting. You know what I always say is the only way they can get what they're getting is if we cede it to them. You can't cede it to them. Hey, sis, how you doing, girl? Talk to me. What's up?
Oh, well, I'm here to say happy birthday to the Army, but I think we're relaxing marching.
There you go. And let me get you signed. Perfect. Say that again.
Indivisible with liberty and justice for all.
Love it.
My sign says billionaire over billionaires because I'm most upset about the big, beautiful bill, 220 billion cut from renewable energy. That's not okay with me. Keep it for the voice of the people. So I'm asking for your vote. I want to be a representative in Washington, D.C. For starters, I'm running in the 18th congressional district. Just get me up there a year earlier and find one else in the course. I'm an NC10 pressure. The voice of treason. Some reason.
Thank you very much, my brother. Let's speak to Cindy Hendrickson. Cindy is a woman who called in yesterday to let us know what was occurring. She put this together with Indivisible Kingwood. She has been working her ass off to get this organized. And we have to give her a big hand for, in a place like Kingwood, getting a performance like this. Cindy, what you got to say?
Well, I'm a little bit surprised. I didn't think we'd have this many people. I was hoping for 50.
You got hundreds.
And I'm really impressed. And the police are here and they are helping us, which is fabulous. This neighborhood is not ready for this. I see lots of shocked faces as they're coming down the street. Surprise, support. A couple MAGAs revving their engines.
That's fine.
For the most part, it's a lot of support here. And we need this because our community is fractured and we need to know that there are like-minded folks out here in Kingwood.
Well, look, thank you very much, Cindy. And again, congratulations for this hell of an event. You did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Now, I know I can expect a speech from you, so start it, my friend.
We are here because America in 1776 told the king
We did not want a king. And Trump, by hook or by crook, is sneaking behind our back, running around the laws and getting Congress to pass things that will give him the powers of a king. All under the guise of, folks, we really need this budget. We have to get this budget done. Then there's 1,000 other things getting him powers. Never to be prosecuted in the court, to do whatever he wants. So, folks, we're here today to say we are here for democracy. No.
I love that. And that is coming from a teacher. And you know what profession I've always tell you guys, I believe is the number one profession in this country? Teaching. You're looking at a teacher, and likely I've passed so many teachers. They keep knowledge going forward. Here we go again, once again, with the president of the Humble Area Democrats, John Cotter. How you doing, John?
Egberto, how's the turnout today?
I am, put it this way, it is blowing my mind. And when no, it's not only that, it's all the Kingwood Drive, Lake Houston Boulevard goes all the way down to near the bridge.
Yep.
And now look at that side. Look at that side, John.
Yeah.
We didn't expect this.
No, not at all.
We did not expect this.
Yes.
The work, Cindy Hendrickson did a lot of work.
Oh, she did.
You did a lot of work by having your your Humble Area Democrats be aware of it. That is what teamwork is all about, brother. Thank you, my man.
We're here.
Why are you here?
I'm here for my kids, for my students, for my country.
Are you a teacher?
Look, for 16 years.
I think teachers are the most important profession, bar none. Thank you for being a teacher. Absolutely. You're a teacher's mom. Well, you know what? You made the right thing. You produced the right thing. There you go.
Teacher.
You're a retired teacher? Thank you. Oh, retired teachers, thank you. Thank you for your service, brother. Let me tell you, when guys like us talk about we value your service and that thank you for your service, it's not just words. We actually support policies that support veterans. We don't just say it.
Right? Exactly.
Okay?
Yes.
Thank you, brother. Peace. Professor Steve, this is one of our leading professors in the Occupy Kingwood days.
That's right.
He was one of our great organizers. Talk to me about where we are as a country.
Oh, my God. We're at rock bottom, I'd have to say. But I think things are looking better as I look around at all the people who turned out. It's just so incredibly encouraging. We're not dead yet. We're not going to lie down for this. We've seen this scripted history before, and people are determined not to see it.
Actually, you've told us a whole lot of what happened back in the 1920s, during the 30s, during the the 50s, during the Red Scare, and all of that, which we're reliving right now. Yes. But the reality is, when you see a place like Kingwood, and you back in the days of Occupy Kingwood, you know, we had problems getting people out.
Yes.
This is amazing.
It really is. We never had more than a handful. Maybe we had 24 at our height.
Yeah.
We have hundreds here right now.
It is amazing.
Yes.
And I think it speaks well for, and just like you said, I don't want to use it yet. You said we're not dead yet. I want to say we're not ever going to be dead, because if we see stuff like this, this is what we're talking about. So
we're far off, Egberto. You mentioned the 1950s, but the 1920s and the 1930s are the script out, isn't it?
Oh, so okay, got you.
Talking about that, and anyway, the historical parallels are.
No, tell us. We have an audience that need to know that kind of stuff.
With the rise of the Nazis and the rise of the fascist era,
We thought he had slain the monster. The beast was out of the cabinet, and he has a tendency to recycle. And that's exactly what we have to stay on right now. Thought our country was exempt, but it's not.
Well, you know, Tom Hartman speaks a lot about that when he talks about democracy isn't something you can sit on. You have to keep working on it. So, brother, thank you very much for being out here. Nice to see you, Steve. Take care. Hey, Susan, how you doing, beautiful? Where's my brother? He decided not to come. Okay, all right. Everyone knows Susan, right? She runs the green stuff here in town. She's everybody's idol. Everybody's idol. And she can run, man. Who has that kind of stamina? You know, anyway, government of the people, by the people, for the people.
Again, this was likely the best event, the best protest, the best march I've seen in Kingwood, and I've been here for several decades. A conservative town that, you know, it votes probably 30-something% progressive. But what this rally showed is that many folks that were previously on the very conservative side, many folks that would never put themselves on a rally, that things have reached to the point where they have noticed that, in effect, the policies of the past that they once believed in had been nothing but a failure. And above and beyond that they want agency in their government. And that showed yesterday. You don't get the best protest ever in a town if that town isn't changing. And that is what I've been seeing empirically and now by the numbers. We have a town that is changing, and that can only be for the better of the country, because this town is representative of many other towns of its type around the country. And when I tell you I saw people from that I know in Starbucks that are nowhere, or originally were nowhere on the progressive side. And now I saw some of them they seeked me out to say, I am here. And I was going through the crowd because I was marching down the lines, and I saw this woman, a neighbor, and I mean super conservative in there, and she just looked and said, Egberto. And I was like, oh my God. Because it was so crowded, I didn't want to really say, like, what are you doing here? But she saw it in my eyes. It was like, my God, what are you doing here? That is how powerful what we had. We expected 50 people in this area. According to the cops, we got about 700. It doesn't look large when you take a look around, let's say downtown Houston, or what Brother Howard saw on 1960. But understanding where we're at and what we got compared to everything else, it was just amazing. Let's go to Tag. Come on in, Tag.
Good morning, Egberto. I just wanted to I just wanted to make mention of this article that broke this weekend about the tampering in the voting machines.
Yeah.
And going forward, we got to have something to be focusing on. And I think this is very indicative of how they put a king on the throne, is by taking something that we don't ever really question and manipulating it so that all of a sudden you got a king sitting there. And these are some very interesting articles. I don't know, but if it's true or not, but I think it's something that everybody should look at and start looking forward and making sure that this type of vote tampering is not happening. So
let me just say this, Tag. I saw some of the reports. Notice that I hadn't brought that up in any of the blogs or articles that I've written. And the reason why is I don't want there to be a false narrative or that later on creates a credibility problem when when folks hit us on the other side. Remember, that's what they did with Biden and others. Oh, the votes were stolen or whatever. There's a possibility that occurred. I mean, one of the things that we were talking about is that, the good side was going to win by a landslide, etc. It turned out not to be. And was there some hanky-panky there? Until I have irrefutable proof, I'm going to try to stay away from mentioning it. But thank you for pointing that out. Yes, I did read about some of that occurring, and that actually, in fact, there are some reports that said that Musk was getting ready to spill the beans and all that kind of stuff like that. But I'm holding back till I have something more that I can hold on. I'm also dealing with Greg Palast. I know you know who Palast is. I'm working with him to find out whenever he pulls a plug and say, yes, these are the facts about it. I'll go more into detail on that. Tag?
Well, and I just bring it up now because I think people should be aware that these rumors, they're just rumors at this point, but that they're coming out, and people should be taking a look at this situation to have a little better understanding of what might have happened. So that's,
gotcha.
Whether it's true or not, I can't say. I can't say it's true or not. Educate yourself. Be aware of what's going on around you. So thank
you, Tag. You have a wonderful day. I want to welcome Lisa Blair from Atlanta, Georgia, Lita Beercat from Austin, Texas, Harry Denson from Missouri City, Melanie Keelan from Barcelona, Spain, MS T. Marie 83 from Newton, North Carolina, and Brother Eric Hayes from Kingwood, Atascocita. We also have in the chat on Substack, Kellyanne Kennedy, Sandra Dingler, Cheryl Elkin. Cheryl says, I was in Red Rural, New Hampshire on Saturday. 1,000 lined the streets of a town of 6,500. They expected 200. Joyful, resistant, committed, and honks outnumbered. Fingers 3-1. We need to continue to be visible. We are many. We have the power, and clearly we aren't bowing down. I'm glad you brought that up. I don't know if I said it in the video or not, Cheryl, but we were expecting a lot of fingers because, like I said, this is a very conservative area. We got more honks than anything else, and the fingers were sparse and in between. The support from the community. And I look, on a proportional basis, you guys completely outsized us. 1,000 people out of a population of 6,500 is huge. We were just a percentage of ours, but we had never garnered any kind of event here that gathered more than 50 or a little bit more than 50 people in one spot. That was marvelous what you guys did. Grace Garfinkel, Ubit Sulain, VJ Vlasky, Becky Walton, Jonathan Walker, John A. How you doing, John A? Thank you for showing up last night, I think it was. Todd Golden, Bob Otten, Danny Williamson, and Rahil. Anita Rahil, Ernie Boxel, welcome aboard. Susan Magnum, Gayla Kunis, how you doing, Gayla? Great to see you here. Harriet Gessner, Diane Doyle, and Eric also says, if the president is harming his base, you have no problems, right? But I have a problem if the president is harming his base. Boxall. In fact, don't you see? That's what that is what we write. That's what I write. I'm pointing out to MAGA that your Führer is harming you. If I didn't care, I wouldn't tell you your Führer is harming you. All right, let me just check one other place here to salute you guys. All right, let's go to Brother Bruce. Come on in, Bruce.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Bruce. You're hot.
I got a quick negative and a quick positive. On the negative, what this monster pulled off with the political violence is simply what the January 6th guys wanted to do to Mike Pence and Nancy Pelosi. Because they're state charges, Trump can't pardon him. But I'd like a reporter to grow a couple and embarrass him by asking him, do you plan on pardoning him too? Okay, on the positive, believe it or not, I can think of some good kings. Nat King Cole, Carole King, Larry King, King Crab. I'm done.
Oh, I knew one of those were coming, but I love that, Bruce. I really, really love that. All right, let's go to Brother Jimmy. Come on in, Jimmy. How you doing, brother?
Good morning, Egberto. I went to the rally in Katy, Texas. We had about 2,000 people there. I was absolutely amazed that all around the country there was 2,000 rallies, how they organized the whole country. Have rallies in every state, about 2,000 different rallies. And Katy, we had about 2,000 people there, and they lined up along one of the streets where everybody could see them, and they had all kinds of signs. And, of course, it was because of Trump is really acting like a wannabe king or a dictator. He puts all these tariffs on and on for our neighbors. He sends 4,000 National Guard troops to Los Angeles and about 600 Marines, even though the local mayor and governor said they were not needed. And he's trying to penalize Harvard for having too many foreign students. I mean, he's acting like a dictator already. And so I'm glad that everybody got out there and let him know that we do not want a king. We have a democracy here, and we're going to keep our democracy and elect people. We're not going to allow him to take over. And he ignores Congress. He ignores judges. He just acts like he's a one-man dictator already. So I'm glad people are out there.
The worst part about it, Jimmy, Jimmy, the worst part about this, right, is Congress ceding power to this guy. I am supposed to have a professor on. In fact, I'm supposed to be interviewing him at 2:30. I'm going to try to get it ready for my 3 o'clock show, but definitely for the show tomorrow, about some realities of what's going on in with him sending security guards, etc., in LA. Because the sad part about it is that even the TV is reporting it accurately, and we are going to have the professor speak to us about that. So anyhow, what else have you got for me, Jimmy, before I jump to John?
Well, I wore my KPFT shirt there, and I had a letter in the Chronicle that morning. I telling all about the rally too, and where it was, and how to come to it. And I was just really amazed. It was organized nationwide like that. That was an amazing job of arranging that. And a lot of people had to RSVP, so they got their email addresses, and they can keep organizing people up on YouTube.
Exactly. And you know what? You just said something important, Jimmy, how well organized it was. And the thing about the organization is that this is done independently. There's a central database that you put all the information in where your rally is going to be. But actually, the people that are getting their neighbors and friends together, all of that is done locally. Whatever folks, however they decide to do it. And like Cindy Hendrickson here in Kingwood and others around the country, it was done so well, so peacefully. For our rally here in Kingwood, I think you could hear it in my voice. When I re-listen to it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm excited. That is the kind of feeling that you got out of it, brother. That was the kind of feeling you got out of it.
The city of Houston had like 15,000 people there, so it was an amazing event, and I'm really glad everybody showed up like that to let the Republicans know we don't want a dictator, and hopefully these people will get active in these political parties also.
Right.
One voice is great, but working with groups is much better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Jimmy. Look, thank you again. You have a wonderful rest of your day, my brother.
You too. Keep up the good work, Egberto. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. All right. Let's speak. Let's go to John. Come on in, John.
I just wanted to say, unfortunately, there were many of the No Kings protests that were called off by the governor. But even so, the news got out much later on that. And then I would estimate probably about 50,000 people showed up at the St. Paul, Capitol area. And there were many other protests, even though at the same time they were looking for, this person that perpetrated the crime. His last name's Bolter. He's a suspect. And we're known as a very polite, nice place. And unfortunately, there's something lurking underneath all this niceness, and I think that we need to face up to what's going on in Minnesota and throughout this country. And Donald Trump has given free rein to, violence, especially January 6th and then Charlottesville. This is, he's not just a political entity. He is, he's at war with us. And unfortunately, a lot of people that support him are at war. I'm a Democrat and have been all my life, at war with us for whatever reason. I really don't understand that. We all need to work together for making this democracy better instead of ending it. I don't get that. I really don't. It's just hard for me to wrap my head around it. Unfortunately, I was not able to go to the protests at the Capitol, but I did have a friend that had went despite that, and many people knew what was going on, and they still came, and it's anywhere from, I've heard 40, 50,000 to 80,000, and I did go to the last big protest, and it was about 30,000. It was really amazing to see people come out. We do need to fight for our rights and our Constitution.
Let me just
constitutional democracy. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me just say that first of all, I am so thankful for the folks in St. Paul, and I don't know if Minneapolis, the folks went out there in Minneapolis as well, but the fact that you still went out there I know you said that the governor's message kind of got across late. I heard it pretty early that he had pretty much called off the No Kings. But you guys outperformed even with what was going on. And that the niceness, you can have a very nice community and just one person that's trastornado, one person that is deranged, or one person that has that evil accumulate. I mean, that it can happen in the worst communities. It can happen in the best communities, but that evil that is coming from the right, those kind of a rhetoric that's coming there, and then a whole bunch of people that believe in this inordinate manner of arming themselves with AK-40. Well, I mean, just the mentality of them versus. Look, you listen to every progressive that we had. We had about 700 people, between 660 700 people. There was nobody out there that had, in my town, little town, a suburb of Houston, that had any animosity towards others for, towards the kind of hate that comes from the other side. We had, after the event, there's a conservative woman that went to the event and came over to visit at the home. And she said, they called her. In other words, when folks found out that she got there, a traitor. Mm-hmm. Okay. And she said all the people that I interacted with were so nice. Yeah. And it's funny because anytime I hear that, I remember speaking to this woman at Starbucks who, after she had a long conversation with me, and I said, hey, I'm probably the most progressive liberal, pinko liberal you've ever met. She said, but you're so nice. And it's like, really? You're nice too. I mean, you get, it's amazing, but we have to actively go out there and not let the false narrative inculcate people's minds. We got to go out there and take care of it. Go ahead, John. Finish up for me.
I just wanted to say that's the whole thing. We have to get a hold of the narrative, because the narrative is controlled by huge corporations in the media who want to, play on this. Right. They just don't get it. And they create this whole persona that we're at war with each other, that, people want violence. Like, for instance, here during George Floyd, I only lived a few miles away, but I never had seen any Antifa people. I wanted to know, where are these people? I just see ordinary people demonstrating. And what's interesting about that was that there were outside people that came in, Proud Boys, that were committing acts of violence and vandalism, and they were outed by the people who were demonstrating. And then we also had violence from the police department itself, cutting tires. And there was a woman who lost her eyes. She was a photojournalist from up in Canada. And, so this narrative is going to end our democracy. I mean, we do not want to go down my father fought, and there are other people that mentioned that too. My father fought in World War II. My father-in-law fought in World War II to end that, fascism, Nazism. And, there were, 50 million people who died as a result. We shouldn't play around with with these ideas that are foreign to this country.
Well,
really.
let me tell you, like I told one of the folks on the line in at the rally, we'll only lose our democracy if we cede it to them. And I don't intend to do so. And I don't think any of you listening to me intend to do so. We have to be actively participating in the debate, in the dialogue, and making sure that the narrative isn't stolen. Because that stolen narrative has really created the whatever that guy's name who killed the two senators and created the dialogue of all the deceptions that you have. If you take a look at the assassinations, yes, people can say, well, they made an attempt at the president's life. Oh, they made an attempt at. The truth of the matter is there are two different scenarios that we're talking about when you look in the underbelly. Thank you so kindly for calling, John. You have a wonderful rest of your day. I want to welcome Maz Maniac in the chat. Let's see. I just watched a video of the hearing in Congress this morning. It's sad that every time I see one, it's always half empty. I thought they wanted everybody back to work. Where is everybody? I am not sure what you mean, Mas, but I'm sure, anyway, we'll find out. Let's go ahead and bring Brian into the fold. Brian, what's up?
Yeah, good morning. I hope everybody had a good weekend. It doesn't matter how many protesters came out. It matters on who's coming out to vote. We saw what your narrative was, which is protecting illegal aliens and turning the American flag upside down. Did you ever watch the fall of Minneapolis on YouTube?
Nope.
Did you ever? Oh, of course not. You don't want to see two sides of a story, is it?
No, it's not that at all. It's that I don't look, Brian. The right side of our politics in these days, it hasn't always been this way, live in an alternate state of reality. My brother, with all due respect, everybody who hears a lot of the narratives that you come with really realizes that you're an instantiation, my brother, of a good person who lives in an alternate state of reality. I can't help that, but I can thank you for keep listening to our program. Maybe at some point a seed would be planted. Well, the seed has already been planted. Maybe at some time it'll sprout. But go ahead, brother.
Okay, here's a true fact. My brother was a lifelong Democrat. Hated Ronald Reagan with a passion. And who is he supporting now 110%? Donald Trump.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Can I finish, please? Yeah, can I finish, please?
Sorry for interrupting you, Brian.
He saw through the crap that the Democrats are trying to sell. He saw through it finally.
Okay, you know what? I tell you what I want to do for you, Brian. Forgetting about immigration and forgetting about the social issues. What crap do you consider that Democrats want to put you through that Donald Trump is better at? Tell me something Donald Trump is good at. No. I tell you what. Better than that. Tell me something Donald Trump is going to do for you.
Okay, he's already lowered my taxes. Is that enough?
That's not true. But go ahead. What other thing is he going to do for you? By the way, why is lowering your taxes all that good, Brian? Why is lowering your taxes all that good if in the process of lowering your taxes, your infrastructure go to hell?
Did you really believe what you just said?
Of course I do.
Do you really believe it lowers my taxes?
Look, Brian.
I get to spend my money.
Brian.
I get to spend my money the way I want to.
Brian, no, that's not. Let me correct you about something
that I don't use.
Brian, let me tell you what Donald Trump does to you, and it works on you, brother. And the audience, I want you guys to listen to this because this is important. If I give you back, if you pay your taxes, right, and I give you back $1, but after I give you back the $1, your insurance rates go up because that some of the other things that would otherwise be subsidized by the many are no longer. And in the process of Brian getting $1 back, The rich guy gets $1,000 back. That means less money goes into the coffers of healthcare. Less money goes into the coffers of protecting against weather problems. When weather problems occur, now you are more responsible, like many are finding out with the increased cost of their home insurance. So here it is. It's easy for the person who doesn't do critical thinking. Brian, listen up. When you don't do critical thinking, putting a dollar in your pocket in less taxes actually costs you more when the other things that would otherwise be made less or cheaper isn't no more. But again, trying to put that... wait, look, I'm not talking. This is what I've just said is a statement of fact, Brian. So you can choose to believe it, my brother, or not. Everything has gone up with respect to insurance. Everything has gone up with respect to these other issues because of the pretext of saving you taxes. But I'm not going to waste any more time on fallacies. So let's go ahead and continue with the program. Look, I'm not going to entertain any more ridiculousness, my dear brother. Again, what I really wanted to point out to Brian is the following. If I rob $10 from you and then give you back $1, are you going to call me a nice guy, or where's my other 9? Look, sometimes one has to wonder how folks think. All right. Billy Irwin from Summerwood says, really, Brian? Tariffs or taxes? He's a tool. Look, anyway. Yeah. Eustace Robinson, thank you for your hard work and the people who came out. I was so happy with the people who came out. And we have, let's say, who else is in here? Anyway, folks, let's go back to another issue that I said the program was going to be about today, and it has to do with Iran and Israel. I'm very concerned, and let me tell you why I'm concerned. Israel would not have bombed Iran without the permission of the United States, because Israel knew when the barrage comes back from Iran, they will need the United States. Having an atomic bomb that is not enough in this regards. But I think the saddest part that I've seen is the reporting. Israel did not have the right to indiscriminately preempt what they call a preemptive strike, because they thought or believed that somehow Iran was going to attack. But worse, the problem is that they went and they killed scientists and head of states. That's an international crime. They killed heads of states and, leaders in the state, and they killed scientists. What would happen if Iran decided to target heads of states in Israel as well as their scientists? It is sad that the media is not covering this the way that it should. They are Donald Trump, along with Netanyahu, is putting all of us at risk, both from a safety standpoint and from an economic standpoint, as we start to see the prices of oil rise. Let's go to Bobby. Come on in, Bobby.
Morning.
Good morning, Bobby. How are you doing?
Got me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
First question, Egberto. Where's your 3 o'clock show? I keep looking for it here, and I never hear it.
Okay, the 3 o'clock show is on the internet. It's at I tell you, politicsdoneright.com will give you all the places that you can get the program, sir. So if you go to politicsdoneright.com, you can find that out as well. Okay.
Okay, I have a comment.
Yes, sir.
I think that in politics now there's so much lying and like subterfuge that people like Brian, they get misled by lies. If you look at Donald Trump, he's lied. I forgot what it was, like how many thousands of times in his
30-something thousand. Yeah.
I did the math. Like in an 8-hour day, it came out to like a lie every 15 minutes in an 8-hour day. I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
And then you have taxes on there'll be no taxes on overtime. There'll be no taxes, for, Medicaid, or, they're getting governments from the check. We'll stop taxing that. We'll stop taxing tips. And then when the bill comes out, none of that's in there. All those are, and in fact, the lower, income people are going to be, taxed, it's going to, go up to 17% by this year. And then, up to like 75% more by this year. And it's just like, I keep asking myself, how does the common man who is struggling day for day keep supporting these oligarchs who are only looking out for their rich friends? And it's just because they're straight up lying constantly.
Yeah.
Like, the first time I remember it was like, it was Bush when he was like, no new taxes. And the first thing he does, taxes. And to me, it's almost like, good.
What we have to, they don't want critical thinking, okay? And that is the thing. Because critical thinking would know that even if they give you the tax cut, if everything else if they start to charge you a fee here and a fee there, it's, they take back what they give it. And that is where we have. But look, I got to go, Bobby. You can also drop me a line directly at kpft@politicsdoneright.com. You can email me at kpft@politicsdoneright.com, and I can give you any further information that you need, my friends. But thank you so kindly for being a part of the program, okay?
Thanks. Have a good day.
Thank you. Melanie Keelan says 9 years ago, Joan Cox, a British Labour MP, was murdered while she gave a speech. I remember that well. Anyway, folks, I want to thank you guys, but let me throw it back to the studio to get them to close out for us. Studio?
Well, down to the last minute, so we have nothing here. I don't have any comments this morning, except maybe there's really good food in Brian's alternative universe. So let's hope for that. Jack, what you got, man?
Well, I just want to thank and congratulate all the people that showed up to all the No Kings rallies and protests this weekend. You're wonderful.
Yep, that's my too.
I third that motion, but guys, I really want to congratulate the success of the Kings, the No Kings protests. I also want to thank all of you for listening to the program. Please remember to share. I love you all. All the rest of the program is at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. You can email me directly at kpft@politicsdoneright.com. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right, and you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out!
You're listening to the American Democracy Minute, keeping your government buy-in for the people.
Support for this show, Politics Done Right, comes from politicsdoneright.com, publishers of How to Make America Utopia, Take Away the Economy from Those Who Rigged It. As I See It, Class Warfare, The Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom. It's Worth It, How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors, and other books written by Egberto Willies.
Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at